Hello, Allie.
Hi, this is Liverpool, USA. We're best friends, and this is a best friends podcast.
Yeah, it is. And today we're talking about traveling.
Yes, we are. We met. Our friendship was born while we were traveling,
Yes, it
and
was.
I know travel is important to both of us in specific ways, and I think lots of people agree that travel is important and fun and great and a good part of a good life, you know?
Yeah, I think it's very important. It's so important to meet people outside of your like general vicinity, especially if it's like completely different cultures and completely different countries and stuff like that. I think that's so important for just like having a well-rounded brain, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think for me too, I mean, I think it's important for personal growth, right? To travel and see new things and have new experiences. And it's like, very good for like my mental health and my independence and like things like that, to travel and do things in different places. And yeah, I also think it's a good um way to like you know interact with like you get to interact with other places as well, so it's like you bring other places into your life and you put your life into other places, and I think that's like an important cool thing.
Yeah, definitely all of that. Yeah, and one of the things for me too, which I think is definitely like related, is one of my favorite things ever, which is like why I enjoy like interviewing and journalism so much, is learning about other people and places.
Yeah.
And like yeah, just learning about what is out because there's so much that I don't know. Learning about different architecture, people, foods, I love learning about other people's lives. And yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I love traveling, is because you get to learn so much.
Yeah, I agree. I love learning things about the history of places that there's no way I could have known that unless I went there and talked to the people that live there, or um go to some place that is niche, within some town or something, and you like learn about its history, or you learn about the people that work there, whatever. um I always like joke sometimes. I remember you took when we lived in England, you took this class that was like a study abroad class called like global skills or something.
Yeah, I think that's what it was called actually.
Yeah, well, because I always joke that my global skill is like um befriending the baristas like anywhere
Oh
that I
yeah.
ever go. um
That's a good global skill.
yeah, and so I think like there's something about that, right, where you're doing something that you do at home, like get coffee, right, but you're doing it somewhere else, and you get to talk to the person making your coffee, you get to drink coffee that's probably slightly different than what you're used to. There's something about that. I think that experience is the essence of like why I like travel.
That's very cute. I like that example. Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember in England, your barista, who became a little bit mine too because I went there so much with you, was that little
Yeah.
like vegan place. Yeah, that was very cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think her name was Fern.
Oh, you might. I think I remember that. Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
like it could be right.
But yeah, we went to this little vegan cafe in York, and it doesn't exist anymore, which is so sad to me.
It is so sad. Yeah. It's so crazy how it hasn't even been that long since we've been there, but the amount that it's changed already is like weird to think
I
about.
know.
Yeah.
Another reason I like travel, I guess, is yeah, like you get to experience a place the way it is, and it won't be like that forever usually,
Yeah.
and there are some things that you get to go back to over and over again, but there are some things that you experience and then they stop existing and you got to experience it. And if you never travel and you never go and have those experiences, then you miss them, right? Like you won't
Yeah.
get to have experienced anything that was unique and special like that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And I actually don't think I know, because I know that I could like, I think I could summarize all of my, countries, states, whatever that I've been to, but I realize I don't actually know everywhere that you've traveled. I don't think. I think I know most of them, but I think you've definitely been to more places than I have.
I have traveled a lot. I traveled a lot when I was a kid, like with my parents, because travel was a priority to my parents, um, which I think is a really good priority to have.
Yeah.
My my parents definitely were of the mindset that, exposing your kids to a lot of different places is like a good thing to do, and that's a good way to spend your money. And so I remember, a lot of times, um our like Christmas presents or like a birthday present or something like that would be, we're going on this trip, you know.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, so a lot of times, yeah, for like I remember in high school specifically, we had one Christmas where we just like didn't do any presents and we just went on a trip.
Okay.
And I know we've done other things like that where it's like, okay, let's just, instead of gifts, we'll just go on this trip. Um but even outside of like replacing, gift giving with that, it was always like clear to me, because my parents would talk to us about money and stuff like that. And um it was clear to me that my parents had like a travel like budget sort of
Mm.
thing. And
Yeah.
it was like, we've got the food budget, we've got the,
Yeah.
the car payment budget or whatever, and then we've got the travel budget. And it was like, they were putting money towards
Yeah.
making
I
travel
like
a
that. I would
priority.
like to try to like make that a reality for me, I think. I think that's a good idea to have like a separate specific travel budget.
Yeah, I definitely do that. I haven't, I mean, it's hard because, right, like when I've actually been able to travel in terms of having amount of money to travel and like time to travel, it has been COVID. So I haven't been
Oh.
able to travel.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, you know, we were just talking like right before we started recording about how broke we are and how much we have, which is like a story for another time. But um the even with like, our low minimum wage like jobs, you can put money aside to travel, if you decide that you want it, that you want to, and that it's a priority to you in the same way that like food and gas and stuff are a priority. it
Yeah.
just it just depends on if you really decide that that's a priority or not, and it might take a really long time to get any amount of money towards it. But I
Yeah.
think just even putting like, dollars at a time towards it is like, that's important to me to do, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. So how many, you don't have to list like states because I don't, it's probably been like a lot, but like how many countries, different like countries have you been to? I
um
know like obviously England and Scotland and Hungary.
mm-hmm. And
What
then
other? Oh,
I've been to
France.
France and
Yeah.
Germany, and
Oh.
I've been
Oh
to
yeah,
the Czech
Germany.
Republic. Yeah, I've been to the Czech Republic. I've been to Belgium, and I've been to the Caribbean.
Ooh.
Um, I've been to Canada
Oh yeah.
and the US.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think anywhere else in Europe. I think that's everything in Europe.
Wow.
And then the US, yeah. And then I was supposed to go
I
to
know.
Africa, and
Yeah.
that's like a whole thing. But yeah, I was supposed to go to Africa in March of 2020, and like we all know how that turned out. So I didn't go to
Yeah.
Africa.
Yeah.
um but yeah, so I've been a lot of places in Europe, which I'm very lucky to have done. Mostly I studied abroad once when we studied abroad together. And then I studied abroad a second time in Budapest, Hungary. And so I got to travel around some when I lived there as well.
Yeah.
And parents took us traveling. We traveled in the U.S. We would travel to like different states and stuff, and they did take us to the Caribbean when I went to the coast parents, and we just went to one island, Saint Martin, in the Caribbean, which is actually half Dutch and half French, which is
Oh,
interesting.
interesting.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, but yeah, so we went there, and then everywhere else that I've gone with my family has been in the U.S. and I've mostly been on the West Coast. I mean, I've been, pretty much everywhere on the West Coast, and I've been to Hawaii and I've been to Alaska. And I've been to Texas and Florida
Huh.
and where else? That's kind of it. I don't know. I've been to like Idaho and Montana and Wyoming and all of that. Like
Wow.
the Yellowstone area.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I've been there. And I've been to New York City as well.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Yeah, you did the New York thing. Yeah.
yeah, but that's my extent of like the East Coast. I've been to Florida twice, and I went to Florida once with my parents and once like in college, for a conference.
Mm.
Oh, and I've been to Nebraska. That was not with my parents, but that was
Okay.
I presented at a math conference in
Oh,
Nebraska. It was
yeah.
very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been lots of places in the
You've been
US.
around. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I've
I've
definitely done
I've
a
been
lot of
to
traveling.
obviously like Washington, Oregon,
Hmm.
California, Nevada, Idaho, Alaska. I think that's it.
Nice.
Those are the only US states that I've traveled to. And then I've been to Canada, um, England, obviously, Scotland for a little bit, and I was in the Amsterdam airport, but I don't really like count airports as like being in the
I don't count
country.
airports. Yeah.
So, but that's it. I like literally have only been on the West Coast and England. That's it.
Yeah.
And I know and ever since, and I've always wanted to travel more than that, of course. When we were young, there was like family events and stuff like that that prevented us from doing like more um and like money reasons
Yeah.
and such.
Yeah.
But when I was super super young, we used to go to the coast quite often. So not like huge travel, but like uh
Yeah.
like more a little bit like local. Um but and of course I want to do more. But especially after taking in England that 20th century American literature class that I took in
Mhm.
England, a lot of those took place like in places of more like way more east, like New Orleans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And now I want to travel in the US so much more too. Like outside of the
Yeah.
US, of course, I really want to go to my mom when she was probably about my age did like the Netherlands, Germany, France, and like maybe a couple other European countries. And so I
Hmm.
would really love to do kind of what she did. I think that would be really cute. Hit all those classics, France, Germany, like, everyone
Yeah.
visits those. I would love to go to Sweden. I think I
Hmm.
have like Swedish like ancestors. And so
Hmm.
I'd love to learn more about that and like visit Sweden.
Yeah.
There was a security guard when I was working at Portland luggage in the mall, and I was the only one in there because it was really slow. And he comes in, and he had like an accent. I don't remember how it came up, but he was Swedish. He was from Sweden, and I told him how
Mm.
I wanted to go, and he was like, "You should totally," he was very like
Yeah.
you should totally visit Sweden. Like, please go to Sweden. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I would love to go there. Yeah. What are
Yeah.
your I have more, but I can like pass it back to you for a sec if you wanted to talk about do you want to talk about something else first? Do you want to talk about like travel goals?
Yeah, I'll talk about my travel goals. Oh, I also went to Greece in high school. I just remembered that. I
Ooh,
think
oh
that's
yeah, that was
everything
a
though.
math thing, right?
Yeah, I went with my calculus
Yeah. I'd
teacher.
love to go to Greece. That's
It
where
was
like
beautiful.
all of pretty much Western society started. Specifically in terms of I'm thinking like music history. Like
Hmm.
Western music history started in Greece. And so I'd love to go
Yeah.
there for the art and the music stuff. Like
Yeah.
that'd be so cool.
Yeah. Absolutely. It was beautiful. I want to go back because I went with my calculus teacher and I was like 17. So I didn't have a lot of like choice and independence about what I
Oh
got to
yeah.
do there, you know? But
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah. Yeah.
um
What is top on your I want to travel here next goals?
um top on my I want to travel here next goals is actually um like Finland and Sweden and
Hmm.
that. So yeah, like I really want to go to like Scandinavia. That is like pretty top on my list. Um, I really want to go to the east coast of the US and do like Vermont and um, Maine and like I don't know, like New England stuff. Um, I really want to go there because I haven't been like anywhere in like New England. I went to New York City, but that's not New England.
Yeah. Yeah, my sister
Um,
went to Vermont to visit Ryan and I'm like,
oh
"Man,
yeah,
that'd be so cool. I want to go." Yeah.
yeah. So I really want to do that. I I would love, you know, of course, to go back to Europe and do literally anything in Europe, pretty much. I would like go back to England, and there's like lots of stuff that we didn't even get to do in England that I would want to do. Um, yeah, my sister really wants to go to Italy, and I would like go to Italy with her, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think that's like necessarily top on my list. I mean, I would like love to go, but I think there's like lots of things that I would want to do, you know. Um yeah, I would really like to go to like I don't know, I would love to go to Japan. I would love to go to um like Thailand. I would love to go to I pretty much I would love to go anywhere that I haven't gone yet. And
Yeah.
also a lot of places that I have gone
Yeah.
before. So I don't know. I am going this summer to Iceland.
Ooh, when did you decide that?
Um, it actually was
Oh, with your
planned
mom, right?
with my mom.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, I remember you talking about this. Yeah.
yeah, it was planned a while ago because so as I mentioned, I was supposed to go to Africa,
Yes.
and um, the university paid for it. Because I was supposed to go there to present my research and you know do a bunch of stuff, math stuff in South Africa. And then of course it got canceled like at the last second. And so I couldn't get a refund for my plane ticket, which the university paid for, but like they couldn't get a refund for it because it was like last minute, like whatever. So all they could do was give me a travel credit. But like since it was already in my name, I got the travel credit and like I can't give it to the university. There's no way to do that.
Love that for you.
So I just had a travel credit kind of sitting in my back pocket. And it was from like Portland, Oregon to South Africa, which is like the farthest you can like go on the globe, basically. So I basically had a free plane ticket to somewhere, like kind of anywhere, because it was like, I don't know, like $2,000 or something. So I talked to my mom because I was like, well, I want to use this for something, but obviously it's just me and I want to like get my money's worth out of it. I don't want to just like, you know, buy some small plane ticket, but I don't know anyone else who can like go with me if I just like go somewhere crazy, you know? And so my mom was like, yeah, I'll go like wherever you want. Like, you know, just you like buy your plane ticket and you know, she was like, I'll just like go with you. And so I chose Iceland. I'm going to Iceland.
Sweet. I know it's so beautiful there. I have a
Yeah.
friend that's been and she has like it was quite a few years ago, but she had posted just like a ton of pictures on Instagram and it's all just so beautiful. I would love to go to Iceland actually.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. That's my yeah, my next big travel moment. And it's I feel like it's the first time that I've really traveled since COVID. I did go on like a road trip like through Montana last summer. That was like a trip, but it just feels different because it was like in the car and I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Well, and it also like wasn't a foreign country, obviously.
yeah, yeah, it was Montana
Yeah.
and Idaho.
Yeah.
um So which I had been to Montana and Idaho like before that as well. Like not in the same like specific places that we went, but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this feels like my first like big trip that I'm taking, and of course it's my first time like out of the country since I was in Europe the last time when I went to Budapest. So it's definitely a big moment getting back in the travel game, I think.
Yeah.
What about
Yeah.
you? What's your like next big adventure?
I don't have anything planned cuz it's just like not like feasible or realistic in like my upcoming life right now. But I do have goals and like specific places where I want to go. Obviously, my number one is back to England. I want to go back to England so bad.
Yeah.
And do like a lot of the same things, go to a lot of the same places, but also go to like, a lot of other places.
Yeah.
Um, and Japan is actually super high on my list. I want to go to
Yeah.
Japan really bad. New Zealand,
Mhm.
I need to see kiwi birds. And also New Zealand is beautiful and there's just like a lot of awesome stuff there. But really I want to go to New Zealand for the kiwis, honestly.
Yeah.
And those are like my top 3 like I have to do these. Oh,
Mhm.
and Germany and of course France, but Germany I want to go to like like my mom visited a castle when she was there and I would love to like go to the same one and anywhere where there's castles I would like to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Um yeah, but I think those are like my top, like those are the things that I want to do like immediately, as I really want to
Yeah.
go to those places. And then of course just like all over in America, I haven't done like anything in America. I've literally been to like 5 states. I was only in Idaho for like a day. That's like I've only been I've been to, Las Vegas twice, which is 2 more times than I needed to go.
Yep.
Um and like California like once. Um uh but I guess for my birthday, my next trip is actually for my birthday, but it's in Oregon, I'm pretty sure. I actually don't know where we're going.
Hmm.
Justin kind of just like took my phone and was like, I'm putting in these days and we're going somewhere.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So that's gonna be a trip, I guess. That's like my next trip actually. But I don't have
Nice.
anything I guess like out of the country planned for like in the future yet. But those are my top places. I would love to do more like in Canada. I would love to go to the East Coast. Um, see some cardinals. My
Yeah.
traveling centers around birds, apparently. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna travel
I
the
know
world
my
bird scene.
honestly the biggest disappointment about not going to South Africa, if I'm being very honest with myself, is not that I didn't get to like present my research or like, go to South Africa. It was literally because I was gonna see like the South African penguins that like live on
Oh,
the beach. And I was
oh
like,
my gosh.
I was
I don't
so
know if I
excited.
knew about those. That'd be
Yeah.
so cute. To see penguins in the wild, like of course I've seen them in the zoo, but like to see them in real life, that'd be weird.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
know.
seeing and we did in London, which I don't know if they were native, but it's like seeing parrot birds in the wild. I can't
Yeah.
imagine that. It just
Yeah.
seems weird to me because they're just like pets here.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think those are my top.
Yeah. I definitely I'll say yes to pretty much any trip. I think if
Yeah.
anybody, it's like largely, I think I have to get people to go with me kind of thing. Abe likes to travel a lot, so I know that once we actually have any amount of money, we will make that more of a priority
Yeah.
in our
That's
lives.
another
But
thing that I think about that I don't know how it will happen, but like going to these places, I would love to go like with you, or like with other friends or family or whatever, like when we go back to England someday.
yeah,
But I don't know how realistic it's going to be for everyone to like do it at the same time.
yeah,
Because everyone's going to have, or even like you and me, because I know we could like try to plan it, but I know it's different than when we like, plan concert trips or something. Because especially going to like other countries or pretty much anywhere we have to like take a plane, it's like a pretty big deal. And I feel like we're not necessarily going to be in the same space the same
Yeah.
like amount of savings that we have or like what's happening in our lives or whatever. So it would be
Yeah.
awesome to be able to do, and I'm sure someday we possibly will be able to do it, at the same time.
Yeah.
Because of course I want to go to England like more than just one other time in my life, or like
Yeah.
more than, that's the goal, is to be able to do that often enough that like hopefully we can experience it all together. That would be awesome.
I know. Yeah. I feel like we do have to go to England like together at some point
Yeah.
in our lives. Like
Yeah.
it just needs to happen
I kind
again.
of want to plan my next trip to England, not just for this, but I want to go like when like reading or Leeds or Slam Dunk is happening. So I
Yeah.
could like go to one of those like music festivals when I'm there. Like
Yeah.
definitely. I could,
Absolutely.
yeah, like plan it around that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. What do you think the craziest place you've ever been was?
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
If I really like have to be honest, that's yeah. I think all of the like craziest or like most traumatic or like weirdest experiences that I've had in terms of
Yeah.
traveling would have to be in Las Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I mean, I guess it depends on what you classify as crazy, but when I've been to Alaska, it's been to go to Kasan, which is a tiny village on Prince of Wales Island where my grandparents lived. Um, and like I think that would be pretty crazy to a lot of people. Like we had to take um a big plane, a tiny plane, and then like a boat to get there. And there's literally like I'm pretty sure less than 100 people in the village. Like it's literally a village.
Yeah.
Um, and so like that's pretty crazy by some standards if you think about it. It's
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful. I'd loved we have like that house is still there and there's little cabins and it would be totally feasible to like go sometime and you could totally
Yeah.
like that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And I would love
Yeah.
to go back there because it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
want to do that.
I guess that could qualify. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about
I
you?
I think the craziest, so okay, I guess yeah, there's kind of multiple definitions of crazy.
Yeah.
The most like hectic and like I don't know, crazy type of crazy, I guess, has been Paris was like
Oh.
absolutely nuts and also like so hard to like figure out, I guess.
Mm.
So that maybe and then I think like the most okay, actually I changed my answer kind of. Although I do think Paris was like the most difficult to like figure out. But the actual like weirdest, like craziest place that I've been was southern Hungary when I went to
Oh,
that festival.
yeah. I
Um
was gonna say, how could it not be Hungary? I know you had a
yeah,
lot of just experiences there.
yeah. Southern Hungary when I went and I went to the Busho festival, nobody spoke English. It was not a huge like touristy festival. It was like for Hungarians only and I was just like there. And yeah, I got so like part of the tradition of the Busho festival is to like mess with everybody to like scare away the whole point of the festival is to like scare away winter and like welcome in spring. So like one of the things that you do is or I guess I don't know is you like it's really common for men to mess with women, like they will like pick you up or they'll like steal your hat or like do something like that. So that was really crazy because I was like not expecting that really.
Yeah.
um but I got like my butt grabbed. I
Oh
got like
no. There has to be standards here. There still has to be some sort of
yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah.
appropriateness to messing with people.
There was also like they would throw flower bombs, like balls full of flour that they would throw and then they
Oh.
would explode with
Oh.
flour. Which is like fine, but like for me specifically, it's not fine because I have
Yeah.
celiac disease.
Yeah. Oh my God.
um, and so like that was super crazy. Also, they were all like dressed in like the Busho costumes, which are made out of like animal skin and blood. And lastly, about the Busho festival is I got there. I was like in this village. There's like a fire pit in the middle of the town, and this guy in a Busho like costume does not speak English. He hands me a bottle of fluorescent orange liquid and is like, "You have to drink this." And I was like, haha, no. And my guide, because I wasn't just like there by myself. I was there with other people and there was like a guide. Because it was from our school. And so we had this our
Your
Hungarian like
school took you
teacher.
there?
Yes.
Oh my
Um
gosh.
so our teacher, our Hungarian teacher, like talks to the guy in Hungarian, and then she's like, "Oh no, you should drink it. It's like a local like thing." And I was like, haha. And so she like handed it to somebody else, and they took a sip, and then they handed it to me, and I took a fake sip, because I was like, I don't want to drink it, like because I don't know what it
Mm-hmm.
is. So I took
Mm-hmm.
like a fake, and I thought it was probably alcohol, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what this is. So I just like took a fake sip and then like gave it back. And he was like, you didn't drink it. You have to actually drink it. And like, he wasn't speaking English, but that was the vibe.
Uh-huh.
So then I took a drink of it and it was um chili pepper infused palinka. And palinka is a type of alcohol that they make, and it's
Oh.
like stronger than vodka, stronger than tequila. It's like pure alcohol. Like so strong, like 80 proof or whatever, I don't even know, but it's like so
Yeah.
strong, stronger than normal liquor. And it was infused with chili peppers, and so it was like so spicy and so alcoholic, and I was like choking. I was like, oh my god. So I think that's the craziest
Yeah.
travel experience I've ever had.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I also got locked in a train station in Belgium once. Like it was nighttime and it was closed, and we got in there and we didn't know that it was closed and locked from the inside. So we were just like in there and we were like, how do we get out?
Oh my God. Jesus.
um, yeah. I think that's all my crazy travel, like the craziest travel stories. But
Yeah.
that's what's fun about it. I don't know. I'm like, those were kind of like scary, both of those things. The Busho Festival and being locked in a train station, I think were both scary. But they were also, I think, I mean, they're great stories, and they're
Yeah.
also
And
like,
they were exciting. Like your life wasn't in danger.
no,
Like,
yeah,
if it was that kind of, thing, then that would be different. But yeah, there's
yeah,
still memories, like there's still experiences, like you learned something from those and
yeah.
so yeah. Yeah.
And like when I traveled through France, I traveled with another girl, and she had not traveled a lot, and she was pretty like freaked out by everything. And so I had to make the decisions and like know how to act in all of the travel situations that come up. And I think that's really like, I like that about traveling, is it forces you to like learn how to be independent and like get stuff done and be where you need to be,
Yeah.
like it
Yeah.
makes you just like have to figure it out. And I think
Yeah.
for me, because I am usually a very like introverted person and like usually kind of like an anxious, like stressed out person, being forced to like be in kind of an uncomfortable situation and like figure it out is really good for me. And so I
Yeah.
think I value travel a lot in that way.
Yeah. Definitely like going to England for me was absolutely huge. Like under
Yeah.
normal, before that or even right now if I think about doing something like that, it seems just so out of even like the realm of possibility for my abilities. But the fact
Yeah.
that I did it, like everything from navigating the airport to like navigating foreign airports, like getting to where I needed to go, like having to communicate with people, having, like all it was so huge for me and I made so many huge steps in, gaining confidence and independence and all these other
Absolutely.
skills doing that, which a lot of which feel like they were, largely like erased or broken down after the during the pandemic. But
Well,
still,
yeah.
like it's still um was so huge and like very formative, I feel like, for me as like a young human being. And so if I did more, I mean, I don't know if I'll ever have another trip that was as intense as that, like 4 months in a foreign country with like literally no one that I had like known that well previously at all. I
Yeah.
like I'll never have anything like that again, pretty sure, but
Yeah.
just like if any other trip that's big like that even is remotely like that much of a learning experience, then oh my gosh, like that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really do value the type of travel that is more long form like that instead of like, oh, I'm just spending like a day here, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Um I learned a lot about how to travel correctly for myself in college when I like studied abroad and stuff. And I've actually written a lot about that now because I really think like I have learned that like slow form travel is better for me. It takes you have to, things have to line up for you to be able to do that, right? But
yeah,
um I think that having like longer in one place is always better for me because I like to get to know the area that I'm in.
oh yeah,
And then I also, don't want to feel rushed. I also like small towns better than big cities. So, if I'm going to visit a country, I want to not stay necessarily in like the biggest city that exists there.
yeah, I'm not
Um,
huge on big cities, although I did really enjoy London when we
yeah,
were there. But I still want to do like I feel like I would hate New York, but I still want to experience it. Like, I'm sure that there are still things there that I could enjoy. Like, there are things that I did in Las Vegas that I really enjoyed. There was a lot of fun stuff there, but like as a like concept and like a lot of traversing it and a lot of like I just don't like I am not a city person. I am not a
no.
big city person. And so definitely even when I'm traveling, I feel like the smaller, more local places, that's where like the culture is.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
definitely prefer to travel to smaller towns and see what life is like in just kind of a small town because big cities, I mean, pretty much big cities are similar no matter what they are because they're so big. It's like
Yeah.
how different are London and New York? Well, they're different, but they're both like huge cities with lots of people in them,
Yeah. And lots
you
of people
know.
who aren't necessarily locals too, they're
Yeah,
like
exactly.
tourist places. And
Yeah.
and there are of course things like museums are always cool like in big cities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely something about small towns. And I haven't even experienced a country where most people don't speak English yet. So like that's huge or like will be huge, even like when that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely something interesting for me when I went to France. I like speak French, but it's very difficult to speak French in France if you have an American accent. So that was really interesting for me is like trying to communicate with people. And then the first time I went somewhere that I didn't speak the language at all and they didn't speak English. I think the first time I did that happened was in Hungary. And in Budapest a lot of people speak English, but when I went to southern Hungary, nothing. And that was definitely a learning experience. It's definitely like, oh, okay, I am the outsider here. Like there is no way to communicate with each other. You have to just kind of like go
Point at
with it.
things and yeah.
Yeah, and you just kind of have to like, we'll
Yeah.
just see how it goes, or like
Yeah.
Google Translate on your phone like as fast as you can.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Which
Yeah.
which is also, like an exciting thing, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is like again something that just forces you to learn how to take care of yourself. Like you're like,
Yeah.
okay, here I am. I need to like buy this thing, and
Yeah. Yeah. I literally
I
have no other choice but to figure out how this
I
works.
will never forget because so mothballs were like not something easy to
Oh
buy.
yeah.
in Budapest. And there was like a whole thing with moths. I needed mothballs. That is a story for another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was trying to find mothballs and I had to go to this random store and nobody spoke English that worked at this store. And I had to Google translate mothballs because I had looked on the internet and knew that they sold them there, but I couldn't
Oh,
find them.
okay.
So I was
Yeah.
like, Google translate mothballs, showing the like worker, like, I need these. Like whatever it was in
Oh my
Hungarian.
gosh.
And they were like,
Yeah.
oh, these, and then they like gave them to me. And it was like that's such a an
Yeah.
interesting, experience,
Yeah.
but an important experience. Like I definitely have learned and grown so much as a person through traveling and through being on my own somewhere weird, like it
Oh
just
yeah.
that's how you do it.
Do you have a favorite place or like a favorite, yeah, like a favorite place that you've traveled to?
Yes, I mean, a very obvious answer is York. I mean, like it just
Yeah.
was amazing, and I had so many amazing memories in York. And I loved it, and the walls and everything. Like it was just perfect. Um, the other place that I loved was Scotland. I think that was like a particularly beautiful
Oh my gosh, it was so
place.
beautiful. Yeah. Oh, and you've
Um,
been to more of Scotland. I just have been to the one city. Yeah. But it was so
yeah, we
beautiful.
went up in the Highlands, and I think the Isle of Skye was like
That's
pretty
just a
much
beautiful
peak.
name.
Yeah,
Like, hello.
yeah.
Yeah.
That really was something that I just have never like. I don't know how anything else could ever like live up to that. So I think that might be my favorite. The other thing that is my favorite is Maui in
Oh
Hawaii.
yeah. I'm supposed to
Um,
go to Hawaii someday. I was supposed
yeah,
to go like right after we graduated high school and then of course that didn't happen. Because my mom
yeah,
has been and she wants us to go so bad and we just like haven't been able to. But
yeah,
yeah. And my dad like I mean, he grew up when he was about my age and like younger, he lived in Hawaii, but he lived in places that like I don't think you can go if you're not a local. So I don't really think I could go to a lot of the places that where my dad lived, but yeah, I'd love to go and experience Hawaii a little bit.
yeah, yeah. I went a lot when I was a kid. Which I'm very lucky that I got to go a lot when I was like
Yeah,
younger
oh
and
my goodness,
stuff.
yeah.
Um, and I know now it's harder to go. It's definitely like more expensive to go. I know as of recent, like after like pandemic and post pandemic, I know a lot of like the Hawaiian locals have asked like people to stop coming to Hawaii
Yeah. Yeah.
recently. So I haven't gone since then. I can't afford to go right now.
Yeah.
But so I don't know when the next time I'll be able to like go to Hawaii will be. But there is something really special about this one little corner of Maui that I've been to a couple of times. And it's so beautiful and it's so warm and I have amazing memories there and the food is so good and the drinks are so good and like you get to have like blended coconut, like it's just so good.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just like the sand and the waves and the coffee and um the memories that I have there with like my family, and that means a lot to me. And there's like, yeah, it's like this really specific area. And it's changed a lot since the first time I went there, and I know that it will continue to change. And this is sort of like, what I was saying about the cafe that closed in York. It's like I know that it will change and it won't be the same as all of the times that I've gone there. And so it draws me back every time because I know that, oh, this could be like the last time that I get to go here, or the last time that it's like this, or things like
Yeah.
that. And so I treasure that little like piece of Maui a lot as well.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Cute.
How about you? What's your number one spot?
I mean, I feel like it also have to be the obvious answer, which is York.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I don't know if I could pick like a specific place in York, but if I think back about like the times where I think that I felt the best when I was there, which would like in things that like stand out the most, would probably have to be, well, concerts at Fibbers actually was like experiencing concerts in a foreign country. Like that's awesome. I would love to experience like a concert everywhere that I go. I think that's like
Yeah.
such a cool, like a little bit like going to a cafe like everywhere you go. Like to go to a concert
Yeah.
everywhere I go would just be like amazing. But I have this specific memory of it was getting dark. It was the evening, and I was in York, and I was passing by the York Minster, which is the first cathedral, the first like any type of building of that architecture from that time period of that stature that I had ever seen in my entire life. I remember falling
Yeah.
asleep on the bus after getting picked up from the Manchester airport to get to York for the first time and waking up like when we got to York. And one of the first things I saw when I looked out the window was the York Minster. And no one was saying anything. And I was like, hello? Is no one going to point out the castle outside? Like that was so huge for me. But the moment
Yeah.
that I'm thinking of is I think I had just gotten like some groceries or something. And so I like had my backpack on and I was alone, and which was something that you could do in York at night, which was incredible. But um so I was walking past the Minster and no one was like near it. And no
Hmm.
one was addressing it, no one was walking up to it or leaning on it or standing by it or anything. Everyone was kind of walking like, on the path that goes pretty good distance around it. But that really kind of made it stand out to me in a way that it was just kind of like it was almost like it had a force field around it because no one was walking next to it. And
Yeah.
so I like walked up to it and like I probably like touched it or something and just kind of like looked at it for a little bit because it
Yeah.
just felt so like I feel like I have an ability to be like easily enchanted by things, and
Hmm.
I think to be like I was like I felt like I was appreciating it on a level that everyone else there had probably walked by it, hundreds or thousands
Yeah.
or whatever amount of times in their life. And it was just there. But I'm like, no matter how many times I see or touch or walk by this building, it will always really just get to me every time. Just like
Yeah.
the history of it and the beauty of it and just everything about it. And so that like specific moment there like stands out to me I think more above like any travel thing. So I think that
Yeah.
that would have to be just like my favorite place. Like I would return there like all the time if I could.
Yeah. I have a
Yeah.
picture of you hugging York
Yeah.
Minster.
That was like one of the last days we were there too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have
Yeah.
I guess I have more local family, favorites as well. There's Garibaldi will always be like really specifically special to me. Is like a beach area. I've been there like quite a few times growing up as like a super small child,
Yeah.
and then also like relatively recently I've been there. So that like
Yeah.
area of the Oregon coast specifically. And then in Alaska, in Kasan, there's if you walk through the forest, it can be a little bit difficult to find. But there's an area when you walk out far enough that, and one of the things that I love up there is that down here, we have like our national forests and, places to sightsee and stuff. And there's little plaques that explain things, and there's little rope around things so you can't walk up to it and touch it, like stuff like that. But up there are these totem poles and other structures, like native structures that have been there like forever, and they haven't been touched. There's no, like art or graffiti on them or whatever. There's no signs saying anything about them. There's no rope. There's nothing. They're just there.
Hmm.
And which I think is like incredible. And then even farther out, if you go far enough, you can find this super, super old, overgrown, tiny cemetery.
Hmm.
And that area is just like, because there's markers of how old a lot of it is. And a lot of it's grown over and just like the history
Yeah.
and everything that's there. And it's beautiful,
Yeah.
for one. there's like a little rocky like beach area just past the cemetery too, like on the edge of it. And that area specifically is like a favorite to me because it's so secluded and it's
Mm-hmm.
just there's a lot of like history there, but I don't know it at all. I don't know like anything about it, but
Yeah.
there's something about just like the beauty and like the life and death symbolism in that area that I love and will
Yeah.
like always be very special to me. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm gonna cut us off
Yeah, I think that's a good
because,
place
you
to
know,
start wrapping up. Yeah.
yeah, we had a very good talk about travel. I love travel. I know you love
Yeah.
travel. I
Yeah.
hope we get to travel together again
Yes,
soon
definitely.
because I
Definitely.
I love traveling together.
Yeah. Did you want to do a question today?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Let me grab one. Oh no.
Yeah.
I just pulled one out, but I cannot read that one. So,
Okay.
like, I just already
Like
saw a
physically or
keyword
morally? Like what? Oh,
morally.
okay.
I saw a word and I was like,
Oh,
no.
okay.
Okay, here's a question. And like the
Okay.
fact that I already vetoed one and I'm gonna read this one tells you like how bad that other
Okay.
one
Oh
was.
God. Okay.
Okay, here's the question. You are a hired assassin. It was not your lifelong dream to become a hitman, but it is the vocation destiny has forced upon you. Killing these strangers bothers you deeply. Very often, you are haunted by vivid dreams involving your victims. But you've also become somewhat accustomed to the experience. You have successfully murdered 10 people over the past 2 years. Your fee is $10,000 per murder. Knowing your reputation for ruthless efficiency, a member of the criminal underworld asks you to murder his enemy, who is also a known criminal. I really hate this guy, says your prospective employer. He has done terrible things to someone I love, and I want you to kill him. But I don't want you to simply assassinate him. I want you to make him pay. I want you to kill him in the most vicious, sinister way you can imagine. Be creative and merciless. If you do this, I will pay you 25 times your normal fee. Assuming you are already a professional killer who lives outside of society's rules, would you accept these new conditions? And if so, how would you commit the murder?
In all of these questions, there's so many other things that you can comment on, and
Yes.
so many other like. First of
Yes.
all, that's not enough money.
Yeah.
And like so many things about this that it just like simply wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But also there are so many absolutely awful, gruesome, stupid, horrible things that you could do to someone instead of killing them that like I don't even want to think about it. And he doesn't
Yeah.
need like how are you proving to him that you did it in a specifically awful way? You know what I
No.
mean?
Yeah.
Like there's no way for you to, you could kill him fast and just say, "Yeah, I like kept him in a basement for, a week and didn't feed him or whatever."
Right.
Like
Exactly.
I don't know. Cuz like 250,000 would be almost enough. 10,000 would be
Not. Yeah.
nowhere near enough to kill somebody. Absolutely not.
No. No. I would know. Yeah. $10,000. Like you're. And like these questions aren't even that old. I'm like, is it 2,000 or is it $10,000 in like
Oh,
old money? But like, no, it's not.
1960. Yeah.
No, yeah,
No.
I simply wouldn't be an assassin who doesn't make more money than that,
Yeah.
Chuck. Like,
Yeah, first of all, yeah.
yeah, I
God,
know my worth.
there are so many terrible things that you could do. I feel like it would also have to depend on what this person did. Because I
Right? Yeah,
feel
I would
like
want to know.
yeah, I feel like the best way to make someone pay is to make them experience whatever awful things that they've done but like in possibly worse ways.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. If you were really getting like nasty about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like what did this guy do? Did he like just like ruin your like I don't know. Did he snitch on you? Because then it's kind of like okay.
Yeah.
But
Or
if
did
he
he
like
steal a bunch of money? Did he like
yeah, did he
physically
like
hurt
yeah, did
someone?
he like hurt your wife or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, like I think the answer is probably not, but I think it's interesting that it like assumes that you're already a professional killer
In this
because
scenario, for whatever reason, we are this, even though it's not possible.
yeah, it's like much
Yeah.
less likely for me to get to the point where I'm already a professional killer, but it's like, well, once
Yeah.
I'm already there, like maybe, but
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Making a
I don't
lot of
know.
just like assumptions and trying to picture things that, yeah.
I guess the one thing is like, well, if you do this, then you get like $250,000 and then you could like not do this
Yeah, maybe
anymore.
not do that anymore. Yeah, yeah. If you have like one final thing, the $250,000 could cover the amount of intensive therapy that I would have to be in for the rest of my life.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
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 Well, I think that's the answer to that. Thanks,
Yeah.
Chuck.
We don't have to get
Um
specific. That's
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I
Yeah.
don't I don't know because I'm not a murderer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
anyways,
Yeah.
good talk. Good
Yeah.
episode. Until next time, Melissa, I love you so much.
I love you so much too.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.